Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Hello, hello. How we doing? How we doing? Welcome in. A little bit of a late start, but what's going on, everybody? Episode 34, Over the Cushion, brought to you by MCM Contracting. Sir in Lehigh Valley for 30 years, owned and operated by Mark Daniels. Hey, anyone out there that's looking for part-time work and is dependable and wants to get their hands dirty and learn a trade, go ahead and contact Mark Daniels. He's looking for a part-time worker. Got to be dedicated. Got to be ready to learn and work hard, but he'll pay you well and he'll teach you a lot. So go ahead and hit him up if you're looking for work or any kind of summer work or anything like that. This show is all about dirt track racing, covering news, current events, and talking to different drivers of the sport. Huge thanks to our other sponsors, Bodie Marks Racing, the Shop Automotive Details, or the shopdetails.com, Smith Fabrication, Stage 1 Modified, DH Graphics, ProTech Roofing, Nate Freed Racing, our new sponsors, Route 6 Power Equipment and Old Forge Power Equipment. Really appreciate the support, everybody. Bodie Marks will be at Hamlin this week, so that's going to be super cool for the Slingshot Super National weekend, so that's super cool. If you'd like to be a sponsor of the show or, get on the show at all, but, you can hit me up at Facebook Messenger or on riptheliptv@gmail.com. We're live every Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern on Facebook and now YouTube, so anytime you want to watch those, you can watch them on there. So let me pull in my esteemed colleague. Hello, Kyle.
Hello, Ron.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I have a mouthful of Doritos right now.
What kind of Doritos? That's the real question.
I don't know what these are. They're buffalo something. I don't know. They're
Not
really
the not
spicy.
the traditional. Okay,
No,
I got
it's a
you.
special flavor. I grabbed it. Bag's
Yeah,
really
they're
light
new.
blue.
They're
Yeah, they're
new.
new.
Yummy.
Yeah.
So Kyle, what's been going on, man?
Working on race cars a lot.
Yeah, so you had a
Just-
pretty good week at Action Track, 2 top 10s.
Yeah,
Led a
won
couple
the-
laps at Kutztown.
Yeah, we won the slingshot heat race. Trying a new setup to see how it would work. With the back on the wide left rear that I probably haven't run in 11 years, and it was hateful. I hated every second of it, and it reminded me why I didn't run it when I started in slingshots, and why I'm never going to run it again. But yeah,
Gotcha.
we won the heat in the slingshot, handicapped back to 12th, then we came up to 8th. That kind of sucked, and the micro, we finished second in our heat race and handicapped to the pole
Ooh, baby.
and led like the first 10 laps, I think. But we were doing really well. And just got killed on lap 7. We had probably 5 cautions. And
Aw.
I think I looked down at my tack, and on lap 7 we had already turned 50 laps. So that tells you how many caution laps we had, and I think it just
Man.
cooled off the tires and everything kind of sealed up. And after that, the car just didn't fire off the same. Zach Weisenflew was up there battling side by side with me, and he was able to hang around the outside of me a little bit. And once I made one mistake, he got a nose inside of me, and that was it. We kind of dropped back from there. Car really fell off. I mean, after the race, looking at it, I burned up the tires pretty good. Especially the front tires. And I just started to lose the handle of the car. But, it was the first feature we made all year at Action Track. So
You led some laps, man.
yeah, can't be too upset with leading some laps and learning a lot and finishing in the top 10. So, and then yesterday in the TQ, we also started on pole there, and we fell back to 6th. We were off on pace over the long run. And, I haven't bought any new tires. A lot of these guys throw on new tires every race, and I was on probably 100 lap old tires, so top 6
boy.
isn't bad. Had a good
That's
car
not
count
bad.
though with the TQ. It was fun. What have you been up to, Ron?
Oh, all the fun stuff. I tried to go to Big Diamond on Friday with Doug Smith, but we got rained out before we even got the mud pack, so that was fun. It was a fun drive, I guess, down and back. Saturday we had a full night of racing at Hamlin, which was super cool. I tried to do some more interviews, so I didn't have really time to do anything else. I got ran over by a car. It was exciting, stuff happens. I got a big scratch on my leg from it, so that's a fun story. Some new guy that I think he just started. He had like a brand new car. He had a trailer that was like literally, it's an open trailer the size of a slingshot. It's tiny. I'm walking toward the back of the pits, like where the road is where you come in, and I was going up there to get an interview with somebody else, and he starts his car up, and it just starts taking off, and he's kind of freaking out and like swerving and stuff. And it's kind of like if you walk down the hall at somebody and you guys both kind of do the same thing. You know what I mean? Like one of those.
Yeah.
But it was literally with a race car. So like I'm in the grass and I'm moving more into the grass because when a car comes out of their little pit stall, they're usually going to that dirt road that's in there, right? To like go somewhere. That's what I thought he was doing. But he didn't have brakes or anything, I guess, but he's trying to swerve into the grass, and I'm walking further into the grass, and I'm like, oh my God. So I just like bolt for one of the light poles there, and he just like slams into it. Actually didn't even hit the pole. He hit the electrical box in the bottom, sheared the whole left front, like where the axle is. He sheared the axle off. Then the car kept wanting to keep going, and there's a big puff of white smoke, and he burned that clutch out so bad.
Interesting.
So the other guy went over there and helped him move it back, and he was looking at it. Apparently, he had no return springs on his throttle. His throttle was just...
Are you actually live on Facebook? Because I don't see the stream.
Really? Oh.
Double check that.
Oh my gosh, no way. Oh, that's right. I have to hit the button. I forgot about the button. Go live.
Whatever. We're just going to start from there.
Yeah. Everyone's like probably waiting for the stream.
Falling apart, Ron.
Dude, tonight has been a nightmare. A nightmare.
Okay, so let's rerun the intro and then just go straight into the interview.
Easy. Anyone just tuning in now, it's definitely on. It's on YouTube. Maybe I'll just like re-upload the stream in the entirety.
You're gonna have to.
So anyway, for anyone just tuning in, we're talking about how I almost got ran over by a car. Well, a slingshot. Kind of felt like I could have stopped it with my bare hands, but I wasn't gonna be that guy that night. All right, so recap. We're walking down the first lane of the pits. We're walking all the way to the back. Guy starts up his slingshot, and it starts going. I move more into the grass because usually people are going to go into that dirt road and drive it to wherever they're driving it to. Well, he was moving back into the grass too because he couldn't stop it. He was looking for something to run into. Unfortunately, I was the one that was there, and I ran toward the pole, and he hit me with the nose and scuffed my leg, and then hit the pole at the same time. And then it burned the clutch out really bad, and it snapped his...
You're super lucky.
He snapped his... Yeah, because I kind of did a little jump thing and like tossed my camera off to the side. Because I was trying to like figure out where he was going to like run the opposite way. Like, because I was like facing him, and then I turned around to run away. I was like, it's like, this sucks because I can't see where he is. So apparently he didn't have any return springs on his throttle or something. Or maybe it was missing one or something. Is there usually two on there? On a slingshot?
If you're smart, you have one on the pedal and you have one on the throttle.
Yeah, well, he couldn't. The car just wanted to keep going, and then the guy. It was like him and another guy. I think they were in their 40s or something, maybe late 30s, 40s. They were working on it or messing with it, and I think the guy like disconnected the kill switch or something. Like the wire to the ground,
dude. None of this makes any sense other than the fact that it's a slingshot.
Maybe that's like, but like so like it hits the pole. His tire's flat. The thing's barely hanging on. Like the axle's sheared, and the car just wants to keep going. In hindsight, I could have just reached down and pulled both plug wires, or like picked it up so it wouldn't picked up the back end so the tires would spin, and then someone could do that. In hindsight, I didn't know what to do. I was kind of looking down like, I don't know how to work on these things, man. I'm like waving some other people over.
I mean,
I don't know what to do.
I don't understand.
I don't know how it got through tech.
So, I know I'm one of the old guys that I have a legitimate key ignition in my slingshot still, which is absurd. It's literally a lawn tractor ignition. I have had it and I just left it and never switched to the push button starter because I think it's comedic having a key to start a race car. But
sure.
Even there, if it's like a push button, unless you just have everything so poorly wired, you should still be able to shut the car off.
Like a brand...
Also, all of the slingshots have a loop on the pedal. Pick your foot up. Like, just pull your foot back, and it should stop it. That's why the loop is around the pedal.
Maybe he had like one of those pedals that just like literally like a little tube.
It shouldn't be. Any slingshot that I've ever seen has had the loop around it. No, it's not. The brake.
It looked like a brand new body. It looked like he literally just picked it up from like whatever shop he got it from. Like it was nice looking.
Pole.
It was nice looking. So yeah, he hits that pole, shears it off. Like me and the other guy that he brought with him to work on it, like they both had no clue about anything mechanical. It felt like. He's trying to figure out. He's like, I don't know how to turn it off, and I'm like, I don't know, and I'm trying to wave this guy's over next to me over. Then big puff of white smoke, clutch is gone, axle sheared. Like I felt a little bad just because like he just like got the car to go race, and like all he's got that little trailer, and like he doesn't have any spares of any kind. He's just there to make some laps. You know what I mean? Learn the car.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely a lot to be learned on that day because he ain't going to make those mistakes again, I would assume. I don't know how the hell that thing got through tech.
Yeah.
To be honest. He like hit the pole. He hit me and then hit the pole. And then I first thing I do is ask if he's okay because he just ran into the fucking pole. He's like pissed mad because his whole night's shot and the whole car is busted up. Didn't even apologize. I don't even think he knew he hit me. He kind of like it grazed me. There's big scratch marks on my leg. But he was just pissed mad, dude. He was so mad.
Yeah, that's still wild.
I was cause like Freed's over, like it was over where Freed parks, right? At the end of that like thing. So like the Freeds are watching it, and then the Able Angler's over there with his family, and they're watching it, and they're like, everyone's like kind of frozen. They're like, we didn't know what to do. We just kind of watched as like this car just came careening towards you for whatever reason. I get it. He's trying to look for something to run into, like so that he doesn't like he's not gonna drive it down the fucking pits and gain speed and momentum, right? I thought he was gonna put it in the actual fence that goes around it. Maybe he's trying to miss me, and I was trying to miss him, and it was so weird. It was the weirdest experience of my life. I was like, hey, someone's got run over.
Don't expect to get hit by a race car.
No, I was like...
So the track has insurance, though.
I guess so. I mean, I didn't need any, thankfully. I was just like, please don't run me over, because I was like running away from it. But like, I had a camera bag on. I had my tripod fully extended with the camera on it. I had like my microphone in my own hand, because like if I didn't have any of that shit, I could outrun that thing no problem. Trust me. Because he wasn't really going that fast, but like I just had all this shit on me, so I couldn't run. And I was like, oh my god, please,
good lord,
don't hurt me. So that was the excitement of the night. Nate Freed won the regular 600s, started on the pole, led every lap. He was smoking them. Michael Nolf was in third most of the race. He was much faster than Kate Mattern, but he was being super, super nice about it. Like, longer than I thought he should be. She was holding up almost pretty much every lap. It's not her fault. She was running hard and keeping her position, but I felt like Mike might have wasted a little too much time messing with that. There's a caution with 5 laps to go, and Nate gapped Michael and got the win. He ran his fastest lap of the night with 2 to go.
Yeah.
Props to him, man. He super consistent. So cool. And it was a big field, too. It wasn't like a small, like 6 cars. There was like 19 or 20 cars, I think. 15 to 20 cars, maybe. But that was super cool. There's a big crash in the Excels. I'll have to show you. Actually, I'll send you a small little snippet video of it, since I'm sure you don't ever watch my videos.
Times.
Facts. So I just sent it to you.
I don't have time to watch my own videos.
True story. Well,
I'm actually as we're speaking, I'm deleting indoor footage off of my GoPro because it's out of space. That's how far behind I am on watching my own footage.
Before we watch this, let's bring in our guest, because I felt like we've made him sit. I muted him, and I made him sit around for way too long, and I'm so sorry. All right, so I'm gonna unmute him. So today's guest is Tyler Peet. He is a former multi-time track champion at Hamlin Speedway in the juniors division. I mean, from like 2014 to 2016, he was just basically dominating the juniors. He runs a 602 crate now. Just won yesterday at Orange County. Big win for him. He races all over. Races Bloomsburg. I mean, every kind of track you can think of. And he follows the Short Track Super Series. I don't know if he's like fully committed to it, but he does go to a lot of the races and does really well. Last year at Bloomsburg, I think he got third or something. So, welcome in, Tyler Peet.
What's up?
What's up?
How are you guys?
I'm doing great.
Good.
How are you, man? I mean, you're probably on
I'm good.
cloud nine, man. You won a big race last night.
Yeah, I didn't go to bed till like 4 or 4:30 in the morning. I was just super pumped up. Before the feature, I was like ready to fall asleep, and afterwards, I was like, I was wired right up. Yeah.
Was it that long before the features kicked off?
I'm not sure. After Victory Lane and all that, we loaded up pretty quick, and I looked at my phone, and it was 11:58. So I'd say we probably finished the feature around 11 or so, but.
Yeah.
We were the first heat races and the last feature, so after the heat, we were just sitting there for so long.
Gotcha. I'm gonna pull up a video quick. We were literally just talking about this, so I wanna pull it up real quick. Actually, I have the actual footage. I don't have to do like the video I took off of the camera with my cell phone. Sometimes I forget I have actual footage of this stuff. Just real quick.
I should try and dig it up.
What are you gonna dig up?
Now, Tyler, your first All-Star race was at Shellhammers, wasn't it?
It's very possible. I think you might be right.
I think I have footage, and the only reason I remember this is I remember watching you in juniors, and you were winning everything. And I don't remember if it was a special race or what, but the first time I raced you in All-Stars, I know it was definitely your first season if it wasn't your first race. On like lap 1, we got hooked together going into turn 3, and I hit the fence so hard.
I remember that.
Whoever was standing up against the wall looks at me. I don't even know if you continued on, but he just looks at me and tells me that I'm towed out like 3 inches.
I remember that.
I come around, Dave, the flagger, comes down and just points at me to stop, looks at me and tells me that my toe's out, and I just gave him a thumbs up. He just nodded his head, and I continued to run the race with the left front, like turned 90 degrees to the infield, and I just tried to go as fast as possible. But I don't remember if it was your first race or not, but that's like my earliest memory of racing against you is getting hooked together and getting killed.
I don't even remember what happened. I remember getting hooked together, but I don't remember how it happened.
I have no idea.
Those things were so random. Like, I swear sometime somebody could barrel into you and you'd come out of there fine. And then the next time, you'd barely rub somebody and you're stuffed up under their left rear. Like,
oh my God.
Do you remember what year? Do you remember what year it was that you started racing in the All-Stars? Was it 2016? Does that sound right?
It was either 15 or 16. Yeah.
All right. So oh God.
Oh, at Shellhammers, my biggest thing, I don't know how many times I did it. It was the first time I ever experienced an orange cone for restarts. And I'm telling you, it had to have been 5 times in the same race I went below the orange cone and could not figure out what was going on.
No,
I was furious.
The dreaded orange cone.
I didn't, I go to drivers meetings and it's like, I'm kind of just there to socialize. I never really pay attention, like, especially now, like, I feel like I've gone through so many drivers meetings. It's like, all right, you start at the cone, don't wreck anybody, yada, yada. And I was so young, never even paid attention to the cone, never heard anything about it or anything. Every time there was a restart, below the cone, below the cone, below the cone, they're putting me back. And I'm like, what's going
happening?
on? Oh.
I'm watching old footage right now, and I'm trying to figure out what's happening here. Oh God! I found it.
Oh no.
We crashed so hard. Oh my god.
I can like vividly play this in my head. Like,
Oh
we
my
do
god.
you
What a
have
violent wreck.
Do you have the clip, Kyle?
I do.
Send it to me.
I do. I can't. I gotta screen share it. So I don't know if you could pull up. How do I screen share?
I will try.
I don't know if it was your first race, but it was the first time I raced against you. It looks like it was the 2016 Spring Spectacular.
it might have been. I'm trying to remember. Yeah. You know, I remember the shell hammers once, and everybody was telling me you had to have the aluminum flywheel.
Okay.
I put the aluminum flywheel on, and I was
we gotta
so
pull
far
up.
out to lunch. We did everything to the car possible,
Oh my
and we
God.
went home garbage. I mean, I
Yeah.
never felt so
No,
bad in my
it's-
life.
It's awful.
How old is this
I ran
clip?
the aluminum flywheel at Shellhammers one time, and I was lifting before the flag stand. Don't get me wrong,
Oh.
I was fast as hell, but you had to lift halfway down the straightaway to
Yeah.
not blow the tires off the car.
Exactly.
Look at
Yeah.
how
Ron, can you
black
see my
the track.
screen?
Yeah, look how black the track is.
That's because
It was
the
so
Spring
slick.
Spectacular was either on like a Saturday or Sunday. So that's the difference between a normal Wednesday night race and like this. So I think
Jeez.
I don't know if it's going into this corner, but this is just wild what happens
Oh.
here.
I remember this car. This was like
Whoa.
my first car.
Ah! Kyle's like, I'm gonna ride. I'm
Tyler,
gonna
Tyler,
rip the
did
lip.
you
And he's like, Nah,
did
dude.
you join my screen share to see what? The,
Yeah.
dude. You can
I-
look at the tire mark on the wall. That dude's
Yeah.
pointing to me, telling me that it's killed, and I think Dave like stops me here. Must be when
Oh,
we go to
God.
line up. You can see the
Oh
one
my
tire is
goodness.
just like pointing the wrong
It is
direction.
pointing out. It is pointing toward the wall right now.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, that's probably where
I
he's talking
forgot.
to you.
Yeah, that dude just billboarded it right in the middle of the corner, and I stuffed it into him there, right in front of me.
Nice.
Oh man, even Yankowski's in this race. There's a
Yeah,
lot
he
of
is.
people here.
Dang.
Yeah.
Look at you. Even
Yep. Alex
it's
is
even
right
close
there.
enough you can
There's Dave telling me that it's bent.
it's been yeah, good.
I
Thumbs
just
up,
gave him
boys.
a thumbs
Let's keep
up.
it rolling.
So here you can see me under caution here trying to figure out where I need to put the wheel so that that right front is the one that's straight because it's really bent. And what happens in the slingshots being the direct steering is a lot of the time when you bend those tie rods, they catch on everything inside the car, so you can't steer it at all. So you kind of got to like muscle it around until it like pops into the correct spot. Man, this caution is taking forever.
Yeah, well,
that
this-
track is so black. Oh my
It is
god.
That's
black.
Oh, we're
crazy.
wrecking
was
stuff
slick.
again. And we went single file because we didn't get a lap in, and we're like, the leader's already right behind me. I am out of control.
That's so funny.
Jesus. There he goes again.
There's there's
Oh,
Ah!
going to the fence
out.
again. Jesus.
Apparently all you got to do is just avoid the wrecks.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
eventually
crazy.
I'd figure out where to put the
I
steering.
almost put it in the fence there. Jeez.
Oh, you just slid me again and hit the fence.
Oh my god,
my
you
God.
smacked that thing. It's like let's just
Oh.
I'm
file
so glad I pulled up this video.
Let's
I
just
only
follow
remembered us
Tyler.
wrecking on the first lap. Tyler's bouncing it off the fence here.
He's passing
Holy
people.
crap.
He's passing people.
That dude's fixing the infield tire in the middle of the race.
Let's
What is
go.
happening? I'm starting to figure
Oh
out
my
where the
God.
suspension needs to be. Good lord, this is so dusty.
I smoked
crazy.
it
That's a
off
long
the fence.
time
That
ago.
was awesome, honestly.
Oh my god. All right.
I
we've-
remember that. I jumped that bumper. It was pushed
Yeah.
over so far. Oh, jeez.
Sheesh.
That's so funny. All right.
So,
we
Kyle,
spent-
I
they're
wanted to-
wrecking in front of me. Jesus.
Kyle, I wanted to show
All
you
right.
this wreck that happened on yesterday at Hamlin.
Yeah.
Can you see
All
my
right, let's
screen?
see it.
Watch the fourth place car, the white and red one.
Hold on. I can't see your
Okay.
screen. Why can't I see your screen?
I'm not streaming to.
Oh.
Do you want me to? And make it easier.
No. Let me pull it up here. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. There's.
I'm so glad you remembered that, honestly.
I was
This
like,
is a blast from the past, man.
I think I don't remember if it was last night driving home from the races or what, but I started thinking about it and I'm like, wait, I gotta share this clip.
That's so funny.
All right. Just let me know.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm here now.
I'm like choking on nothing. I'm just like, yeah, following the leaders. Damn, dude, he hit hard, dude. He didn't
Oh
set.
my god!
He didn't set the
Oh.
car.
Wow.
It looked like he's like. Look at. I'm just gonna slow it down. His car's still straight at the end of the Jersey barriers, and then he turns it. I think he hit the wall because the back end comes up.
Yeah, it looks like he went to
Missed-
set it and hit the. Oh yeah, he
Yeah,
like.
he
I
missed.
got a story.
Good lord,
So like,
Kyle,
yeah,
you
he
might have
missed
been
and just smacked it and just did like a pirouette type deal.
what's that?
Dang.
So right in that same spot there,
He is okay though.
like where he
Plus.
was he? Dude,
Yeah,
he hit so
He
hard.
bent
Oh
his
my
seat.
God.
His seat.
Really?
His seat bent.
I
It was
bet,
this
man.
So-
younger. It was a younger kid. Like yeah, he had a big mullet and everything.
Who was it?
I'll have to look up the name. Like it's like I never seen him there before. I don't know if it was his first time there or what, but I gotta hold on. We're 18.
That's violent.
Yeah, that is crazy.
What were you gonna say, Tyler?
Go ahead.
Oh, so right there, like where he hits the corner of the wall there, I mean, back when I raced, that second, it's like the second exit off the track, which
Yeah.
used to be like the one for not the scales. So right there, Tommy Zwart, I think his name was, he stuffed it in the fence there. Him and somebody got together and he stuffed it in the fence there and went like either through the fence or there was no like real fence there at the time.
Oh
And
my
he ended up
God.
like down the bank kinda. Dude, it was wild.
I've
That's
seen a couple
crazy.
people stuff it there. I don't know if how long that fence has been there because I know the fence around the outside of the track wasn't there. So I don't know if
Right.
they put that in at the same time. Probably.
Yeah, that could
I don't-
be. It was
I don't
crazy.
specifically watched Ron get up and walk away. All right. That's very funny actually.
That is funny.
I'm trying to remember who else stuffed it there. I remember, did you ever get to race Borgers when it was
Oh,
paved?
I did. Yeah, actually, fun fact, I was the last slingshot to ever win on dirt at Borders.
Oh, really?
It
I was the
yeah,
last slingshot to win on pavement at Borgers.
really, that's so sick.
That's funny.
Yeah, Borders though, when they did it to asphalt, like honestly, I never raced asphalt before that, and I didn't really know like what to expect. But like
Yeah.
after going there, like 2-3 times, whatever, it was actually like really cool and fun. Like you could carry a lot of speed, but like
Yeah,
you could run really, really hard with people, and it was actually a lot of fun.
it was. And when they'd pull the tires in, you could like hit the apron or you could roll the
Yep.
banking a little bit. But
Yep.
what made me bring it up is Greg Zellman, if you remember him, older guy that ran the 16.
Yeah.
I was like really good friends with him, and there was one race at Borgers where he got locked against the wall with another car, and I think he was top of 3 wide or something like that, and he just couldn't steer the car, so he had nowhere to go. He ended up
Ooh.
spearing the wall at the end of turn 1 where the
Ooh.
exit chute was, and just stuffed it there. But he thought it was so funny that it happened that the entire time they were towing him back to the pits, he's just cracking up laughing because it was so stupid. But
That's so bad.
I hate openings in the track like that. It's so sketchy.
Yeah, I agree.
I like how Lanco redid everything on their track where they have like
I agree.
just a massive NASCAR style fence and wall that kind of can swing open and close now.
Oh,
Yeah,
my goodness.
the opening there is definitely like that was definitely so sketcy because
Yeah,
it was like such a fine line, and I don't know, it was just tough.
that's funny.
So
Ron,
when-
you good now?
Yeah, I'm like coughing like crazy. Maybe it's all this popcorn I just ate. I went to the movies before this.
Jesus.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit more about the sportsman racing. Like since you've been, did the slingshot thing with Kyle, and now you've been in sportsman for how many years now?
4 or 5, I'd say.
4 or 5.
This might be my 5th. I'm not sure.
Do you like the sport? Do you like the crate car? Because I personally don't like the engine. Or do you think you may be going to modified at some point?
I'd like to get into modified. It's tough because in the sportsman, I know that I can have one car with good equipment and I can, win with that car. Where
Yeah.
if I were to move up to a modified, I'm not the type of person that really wants to go. I go to race to have fun, but I also go to race to win and
Yeah.
to win against, the best people I can. And, I'm not going to be able to go and race at a short track super series race and be competitive with, anything we'd be able to buy for a
Sure.
modified. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of just trying to do my best with it.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to move up. I mean, a lot of people are just like, what's the next step? But like, people like Brett Bieber, he's still grinding out the slingshot races. He loves it.
Right.
It's in his budget. I mean, something he's got cars. He's got the money to do it. Like,
Right.
I'd ask him if he wanted to race a stage one, but he just said it's too much more money for like the tires and the motors and stuff compared to a slingshot. Is like, this is like the sweet spot for for him.
Right.
And I was just trying to figure out if that's kind of your sweet spot.
Oh, right now, yeah, for sure. I like the crates too in a way that everyone's equal, which you could say too about spec head or whatever. But
We'll put quotes around equal.
yeah, and that's the other thing. That's the downside to crate racing. There is a lot of non-legal people out there, but
that's racing.
from what I found though over the years that I've raced against kids in slingshots that I could vividly say, they were cheated up so hard, and they were some of the slowest cars out there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
You can give me a 358, and I won't even break the top 10 in a crate race.
And
You know what I mean?
right,
That's the thing.
so it's just, I know that there's people that do it. I know that it goes on and whatever. I like running with Deo because he does a good job with tech. And anytime I've been in tech or witnessed tech, whoever's going through there, you can pretty much guarantee they're legal. And Orange County, they've had, they've had their fair share of what goes on there. There's been a lot of
Sure.
cheaters there throughout the years, but yeah, I kind of agree the same thing there. Nowadays, it's so slick that you almost have to have a good car and be able to drive it versus however much you're cheated up.
Sure.
Which that's probably my favorite thing about the place. It's just so slick and it makes it so driver friendly rather than car friendly, if you will.
No, that makes sense, especially with how the cars are now. They're not. They used to be all torsion cars, and now they're the left side panhards or something like that. So like they're always jacked up on the right rear. So it's like if it's a tacky track, then it's kind of a handful. I heard.
Yeah. The tacky tracks are definitely tough with the coils and short rods and stuff, but I've found that there's definitely, just like all cars, there's changes, some simple changes and some more drastic changes that you can do, and you can definitely still figure it out. When I was running Big Diamond there for those couple of years, there were some times it was real heavy, and we were on coils and short rods then, and even then we were able to get freed up enough to where I was able to drive through it without being so tight. But it's definitely, over the years, it's gotten a lot different. And even just in the 4 or 5 years that I've been doing it, it's gotten so different. And, everybody's trying something new every week.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
I guess that's the fun of it. You're able to try new stuff and really kind of find a niche or find something that works that maybe somebody else hasn't found yet.
Right. My old man and I, we've been working on this on our chain limiter, and we found a problem. We wrecked our other car up. We needed to get a different one. We got a good deal, and we had to have our chain limiter mounted a little different. Well, yesterday morning we established that there was something wrong. It was not going right, and it's one of those things you could go spend $400 on and get a new one and you're good.
Sure.
But for whatever reason, me and Alex Yankowski years ago, we homemade one for me, and ever since then, my chain limiter's just been one thing that we've tried to keep homemade and just keep going with it. And we found out, we had to change it for this car. So real quick yesterday, my dad and I, we get something figured out that we think, oh, this is great. Like this, it fits in there good. It doesn't bind or hit nothing. This is great. Well, we show up yesterday. We run hot laps, the heat. My uncle says, he says, how you guys have this put together? He said, well, how does it, how is it supposed to move? And I'm looking at it there, and I said, wow. I said, that's a good question. I called my dad over, and I said to him, I said, this chain limiter is nowhere near as good as we thought it was going to be a couple hours ago. He's like, why is that? I said, well, Uncle Bill here just pointed out that when you have it all bolted to a one solid piece, it doesn't allow it to stretch and move. And he goes, wow, yeah, you're right. So I'm like, what do we do? And this was, like I said, after the heat, which we won the heat. And he said, we're going to have to fix it during the week. I said,
yeah, we ain't touching it now.
I'm like, what are you talking about during the week? I'm like, we got a feature to run. And he said, we kind of got it. We found two problems with it after the heat race.
Sure.
Obviously, that one being the major one, but
yeah.
The other one we were able to fix quick. And he's like, it's gonna work, better now. And he said, he said you were good in the heat race, so you're only gonna get better now. I said, all right. And
go.
We went out for the feature, and then I honestly couldn't even tell you that the chain limiter was on wrong. Honestly, I couldn't even ever notice. But
that's awesome.
It was crazy. Yeah, like it was
That's
not
so
what I was expecting. I don't know. I feel like in years past, my girlfriend and I were talking about it today. I feel like in years past, I've been able to say, like, I have a weird feeling that, like, I'm going to win tonight, and then somehow it happens.
Yeah.
Last night, yeah. And last night, it was our second race with this new car. I'm technically calling it our first because the first race we ran, I overheated and only ran a couple laps, and we went home. But it kind of was just, first night with this car. We just got to try our best, hopefully we're not going to be too bad. And hot laps came around. I was like seventh quick or whatever. And I thought, that's pretty good. But I was like, I want more, I'm like,
yeah.
Now that I know I'm half decent, I feel like I actually have a shot at getting a lot better. And we just went to work, and my dad and I were talking a lot, and we made some really good changes, and it just worked out throughout the night. But feature, it was tricky. What's that?
Imagine. I said red's probably your new color now. We stick
you
with
know
the red.
what? You want to know a funny story about that? I bought a brand new body for my other car, and I didn't get it lettered because I was trying to figure out a design. There was just a couple things going on where for a couple weeks I wasn't able to get it lettered. The week I got stuck in the fence and destroyed the car was supposed to be the week I was putting the body on. And if I would have done that, I would have never had a body. It would have been a brand new body that would have been destroyed. But on the downside, now I went out and bought a used car, and I'm back to a used body again. But I guess, it is what it is, really.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I still have this up? Let me see here. I was going to show everybody the slick ride you got here. It looks nice, man. I like the red. I'm a big fan. I mean, the purple's cool. I like the red, though.
Yeah,
I was really skeptical on the red, but Brian Herdler, I got to give it to him. I mean, I texted him on such short notice. He got back to me so fast, and I'm not even kidding you. He sent me a design and was getting ready to have it printed in a couple of days for my new black body. I texted him Saturday night. I said, Brian, I just destroyed my car. I said, I cannot use that body. The next day, we picked this car up. He had a design to me. I'm not even joking you. We were on our way home with the car. Not even 30 minutes later, he sent me 2 designs. We picked this one, and it looks 10 times better in person than it did on the picture he sent me. And it
Yeah.
might be my favorite car yet, honestly.
I don't know. Maybe you stick with that one. That one looks like your good luck car, man. Good luck.
It might be. It might be.
But I wanted to ask you, like, how? So you raced the 7-Eleven for Ralph Mealy a couple weeks at Bloomsburg. How did you get connected with my uncle?
Really, it was a funny story. I was working in my shop here one day, and my dad called me, and he said, "Do you want to drive Ralph Mealy's car?" I said, "Yeah." What do you mean though? Like,
Like
he said, well, Dave Heater. He said
the
Dave works with me.
heater.
Yep, he said Dave works with me, and he said Ralph wanted you to drive the car. I said, "Well, yeah, I'll
Oh,
drive the
sure.
car." And ever since then, Ralph's been really good to me. Matter of fact, the day I went to pick up that car, my truck broke down, and Ralph came and picked me up, and we went on our way and picked up the car and brought it home. But um, Ralph's, honestly, the best thing I had going for me yet. For years, I've been wanting to ride and wanting to just get more seat time with someone that's gonna, be willing to work with me and
Yeah.
willing to not necessarily listen to me, but take my feedback and not just throw it to the side. And right from the get go, I mean, I showed up to Ralph's. He said, here's the car. This is what we have. You do what you want. And it's been a good thing. And, the first couple weeks we had some motor issues, some carburetor issues, and just odds and end things. But it's been getting a lot better. And I'm glad to be driving for him because he just, I don't know, he really puts his time in with me, and
Yeah. Well,
he listens.
well, he's just
What's
getting back.
that?
He's just getting back into it. He
Right.
raced so long ago. I mean, like early 2000s, like late 90s, and he was winning tons of races in modified and back in Makatech days. I mean, the one year in the sports, they ran open sportsman back then, and with the old 7-Eleven, we still have the old pictures. I mean, he won, gosh, I don't know, maybe 10 plus features that year, but he was crushing them. Now he's just getting back into it, and
He's doing good.
I think he's doing good too. He's still driving it like a modified, especially a
Right.
pen can. He's kind of thrown in there like a little too hard, or maybe like something with the shocks. I know the shocks are a lot bigger deal than maybe they used to be, especially these cars since they're like oversized slingshots, and you got to just like a limited. It looks like if you have like limited wheel movement, just keep that momentum up. It seems like they're a lot faster. Like a lot of these slingshot guys, like Doug Smith, Yankowski, I forget who else. Tanner Van Doren, like they all seem to like just catch on to these things super quick. And even when I talk to Tanner, he thinks these things are much easier to drive than a slingshot was. But yeah, I think it's just getting that. He's got to get that learning curve back because he ain't afraid of it, and he ain't worried about. I mean, he's won heats and stuff, but he's still hungry for that feature win because just getting back into it. And I was when my dad told me you guys were working together, I was like, that's great because you're gonna go in there and be like, here's what we need to do to win. I know it's not like I don't think he had a coil car at the time, or maybe he still
Right.
doesn't. But it's not completely optimized, but at least someone to get him on the right track because we've talked. I mean, I'm sure he's talked to like Michael Shane a bunch just to get like some sorts of information, but like most part, it's just like slingshots. Everyone's kind of tight-lipped, so having someone
Yeah.
that's won races and ran well like you have, being able to like give him information, which helps everybody involved, is actually really great.
Yeah, I agree. That was my biggest thing with him. Like I said, when I got there, he kind of, like you said, "This is what we have. This is what I do or have done. What do you think I need to change? What do you do?" And honestly, other than the motor problems or the small like bumps in the road that we've had, the car handling wise has always handled really good. And every week we've gotten better with handling, and we've gotten, more problems put to the side. And I think of, coming pretty soon, we're going to be doing good with it.
Yeah, hopefully a 1-2 finish at some point. Do you guys have
Oh,
any
that would be
other?
nice.
Do you have any other races planned? I know the slingshots are at Bloomsburg this week for their Super National Week, but I'm not sure like when he's going back there. When like, do you guys have other races planned? Or are you just sticking to Bloomsburg, or are you thinking about coming down to old Penn Can one time?
Well, right now, I think we're gonna try and finish the year at Bloomsburg. Friday nights are tough because that's usually between work and getting Ralph's car ready on Wednesday or whatever. It leaves me with not very much time for my own car.
Yeah.
So Friday is really kind of our big day of like scaling and all that stuff, which I
Oh,
feel
sure.
is my big thing. So I Fridays are hard because it's tough because you want to go and race and you could do well in the car, but at the other time you want to do well at your home track, with your own car, and
Yeah.
you kind of have to weigh your options out. And right now, my parents have a really good program going for me, and we're working constantly on just getting better everywhere we go. And my dad and I have really put a lot of effort into, shocks and talking with Alex about shocks and springs. And we really have our own car going so well right now. I feel that it's hard to kind of stray away from what you
Yeah.
know. And we just, like I said, we always want to go to the track ready to win. So the short track races are tough as well because there's certain weeks throughout the month where I'll race, 3-4 times in a week, maybe 2 weeks in a row. I'll race 4 times.
That's cool.
So it's tough, but Ralph's deal has been like a real blessing. He's awesome to
That's
work
cool.
with. I love the guy.
Oh, he's great. He's great. He's funny.
I
Yeah.
never knew he lived so close.
Yeah, right around the corner. I mean, I don't know how close do you live to Hamlin Speedway?
I'm not even 5 minutes. Do you know where the Maplewood Fire Hall is?
I'm sure I do if I pass it. I live on 590, so I'm right down the road from him.
Yeah, I'm not even probably 3 minutes from Ralph's house.
Oh yeah, so we live super close too.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is great. We're gonna hang out.
That's funny.
I work nights, so I can't really like help. But maybe on a Friday night I can swing by and help you with the car.
That's fair. I work nights too.
Okay, but I don't know anything about the car, so you have to help me.
Oh, that's fair.
I don't know anything. I like to watch him go around. Been around it my whole life and still don't know how to work on them. I just listen
fair.
and do the tire pressures and stuff. No, that'll be cool. Yeah, I'm on second shifts right now, so like Monday through Thursday I'm second shift. Luckily it's 410, so I get 3-day weekends. So if I want to go to a Big Diamond or something, I can. If family permitting. Just I got 3 kids, so it's hard to get out of the house. That's why Hamlin's great. It's only like down the road.
Yeah, it's in a couple minutes. Yeah, and you get home so early. Oh, it's nice.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
I miss that. Sometimes I'll
Yeah,
travel,
you're so
but,
close.
like Utica, Fonda, and it's like
3-hour
3.5 hours.
I want to go to
It's
Utica to
like-
see Shepherd, but I just can't drive the 3 hours, man. I just feel so bored.
Utica's awesome though. It's
I'm
a
sure
great
it is.
track.
Man,
I love
we
running
got
there.
the Firecracker 50 coming up in a couple weeks to Hamlin, man. We should. Kyle, can we borrow your car so Tyler can drive it? Or are you gonna drive it?
I think that's the weekend I'm in. Where am I going? Chicago.
There you go.
For the
Perfect.
NASCAR race.
Tyler, go up there, grab the car.
Hmm.
come
Show
come
up.
down for a slingshot race. They'd be like, "Who's this?" Oh, he doesn't race.
Honestly, I feel like I'd be so out to lunch going from power steering to no power steering. I wouldn't even know what to do.
So last Wednesday at Action Track was my first time back in the slingshot since Atlantic City 2022. I went out and practiced, and I'm like, I don't know if I know how to drive this anymore. I was just like, this is weird.
Wins
and
the
then,
heat.
Yeah.
These guys are like grinding every week.
And I'm just like, oh yeah, I remember how to do this, and I just drove it. Now it did take a hot second for me to get back in there. First, I was like, oh, leg room, that's crazy, and then and then I was like, man, this is bumpy, and then I was like, oh, this is not enjoyable to drive. Now I remember why I don't do this anymore. It was like honestly the biggest thing is just how damn bumpy it is. You're gonna go from something that has real suspension to something that feels like it doesn't have suspension.
Especially the Sportsman, man. That thing's like big cushions.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's so funny though.
Kyle,
You know what I was thinking about? When you were talking about tie rods and the slingshot,
Yeah.
I can remember like years ago people coming in and saying, "Yeah, I clipped the Uke tire there and bent my tie rod, and I just kicked it with my foot like 5 or so times, and I straightened it out. Like I never had legs long enough to reach it."
That's funny. I've never straightened one. I've reached down with my toe and been like, okay, is this bent in a way that's still drivable, or am I just going to be a hazard to everyone here?
Oh my gosh.
Kurt Bettler apparently has a video a bunch of years ago at Atlantic City when he hit something and bent a tie rod, and you can hear him like yelling inside the cars. He put all his strength into pushing it back straight, and like he straightened it with his foot. That's
so cool.
That's pretty crazy.
Bro.
That's awesome.
That's freaking nutty.
Yeah,
Kurt Bettler is something else. He's so funny.
He's wild for sure.
He's wild, yeah.
So any other plans for the rest of this season? Any special races you're thinking about going on, or is it just a couple short track Super Series and then sticking to maybe Middletown?
Definitely sticking to Middletown. Definitely sticking to the short track. Every year we always have, more races we want to go to. One race I've always wanted to go to is the Vermont 200. It's 10,000 to win for the crate.
Tremont won it with the torsion car this year or last year or whatever. That was the only one there.
Yep. I want to go to that. Every year I talk about wanting to go to Dirt Week. That's just tough financially and, just how many days it is. But that's also a race I don't want to say we necessarily say no to it, but every year when the time comes, we're too far in a hole or too far wrecked up throughout the year to even acknowledge going to that. We're going to go to Eastern States again. Last year, we had a good Eastern States. I charged from like 29th to 9th, I think. So hopefully, I wanted to win Eastern States for so long. But I finally got an Orange County win. I guess that comes first before Eastern States. But other than that, just trying to do our weekly stuff, keep up with the short track, and keep putting our best foot forward in that. And
yes, sir. Are you going to Outlaw?
As many other races as we can. No, they don't have the crates there.
Really?
For the short track. Yeah, they took us off the. Yeah, they took Outlaw off for the crates and only kept it for the modifieds, and I liked Outlaw. I was excited to go back.
Well, maybe because you guys had your own show at that other track. What was that? What was that track?
Yeah, Brookfield.
So the whole story about that is that track really hasn't been open for like 20 years or something?
Yeah, it hasn't been open for a long time, and then they reopened it in like 2019 or so and ran like one race, and then maybe they've run like one other race since, but there were slingshots there, and dude, they were hitting the holes, and they would be under yellow, and their rear ends would be jumping off the ground. It was so rough there, it wasn't even funny.
Jeez, that looked like a narrow track too. It looked like it
was very
long,
narrow.
But it was narrow, yeah.
Honestly, that was the night we had overheating problems and only ran a couple laps with this new car, and I was actually really glad because
you would have junked that
it was
sucker.
a mess. Yeah, it was a mess.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty risky business, but like good for Deo for trying to like revive some of these tracks. Maybe not revive, but like give them like a show like that because the stands were full set of cars.
Oh, the stands were packed.
Dude, I don't know.
I've never seen that many people I haven't seen that many people in years at a track like that.
Right? I just don't I don't know how he started the short track super series or whatever. But like I for one don't know where he gets all his money for these shows. Like, is he printing it or something? Like,
I don't know, but that's a good question. But I know, I don't know. Deo's about. I would honestly argue that Deo's getting better than the Super Dirt series.
oh yeah, definitely. And I'm sure Flo gives him a bunch of money just because of how the viewership that they get. But like,
Oh yeah,
because
they
like
get
I want to
tons
be
of viewers.
like my dream job or like dream thing to do at one point is be either own a track or promote, like be the promoter for a
Right.
track or do something like that. Because like I see his pay scale for the sportsman, it's like 1,500 to win minimum, and then drop
Yeah.
down. Like I want to take that pay scale off their website and like put it for like a slingshot race or like even a 600 race would be like, I think we'd pull like 40, 50 cars if that was the pay scale.
Oh yeah, you would definitely pull cars. I think that's why Deo does so good too. Um, Accord, was rough. Brookfield was rough as well, but you know, Deo does as good or better than any other promoter I know. He's so into it and
Yeah.
he's for his drivers. Um, he seems to treat everybody pretty equal, and I like his tech. His tech is good, and 9 times out of 10, I found that wherever we went to race with him, there was good cars. The track was good.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have your couple rough places and whatever, but
Sure,
that's
that's dirt
part of the
racing, man.
sport. Yeah, that's part of it.
Yeah,
But other than those couple rough tracks, that we've been to, he does a great job with the tracks and just providing a good place for everyone to race at.
yeah. He just seems so passionate and so like just dedicated to his series that he's created and the tracks that he promotes. Because he does the series plus he promotes like 2 or 3 tracks or something, right? He like Fonda.
Yeah, I want to say like three. I know Fonda and Utica. I know he was doing Georgetown. I'm not sure if he still is, but I
Yeah,
believe so.
like that's just like the dream for me. Like, and not even running the big tracks, the big cars. Like, if I could just run Hamlin, like that would be like the best life. Just like running a track feels like it would be like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just like all the drama and all the bullshit would be annoying. But like, I love that track. That's why I started doing the videos and stuff there. Like, it lacked any kind of social media. I think for the most part, everyone kind of took pictures and sold them like physical. And I was like, you know
Right.
what? There's no video here. I'm just gonna start doing it with my phone. Then I saved up and got a camera, and then, you know, we're here now. But at least that track gets videos of their features every week for the last 3 years. Doug Smith comes and takes pictures, and he sells them pretty cheap. Like, he'll just give you a whole night's worth of pictures for like $15.
Oh, that's good then.
But yeah, for the most part, just trying to bring more people in by giving them more exposure. But the track is so far away from all the other slingshot tracks like Linda's and Action Track and Shell Hammers. It's like some people just don't want to do the drive. Like, even for the Super Nationals, I was trying to talk to some people, and they're like we're still on the fence about it just because it's such a long drive and fuel's too crazy, you know. But
Which is crazy.
Yeah,
because
fuel is nuts.
back like when Tyler was still driving in the slingshots, people were committed to go into the tour. You'd have
That's
I was
30
just
cars
gonna
in
say
every
that.
single.
there was a
You'd
tour.
have-
There's no tour anymore.
Well, I mean,
Really?
that's what the
don't-
Super National's supposed to be. Yeah,
Yeah,
if you haven't
apparently.
followed Tyler,
Ugh.
we have the most confusing and most inclusive tour in the world, where like there's no longer the gold or silver. There's no more Northeast tour or anything like that.
Hey, Bieber,
Wow.
Bieber was he explained it to me. He explained it to me. Hold on.
So there's like it started out as one World Finals weekend. Now there's 2 World Finals weekends, but the first one this year got canceled. So they have one at Bridgeport, one at Linda's or something. Well, they had
Well,
it
now it's at
some
Pagoda. It's like a
Pagoda,
M-
a
MX
motocross track. It's a
Motocross track.
motocross track that they built
Yeah.
a slingshot track around some of the jumps, which is
So
insane.
Nice.
Yeah, so the
So you
point
have-
the points work is like you have to go to the first World Finals, and you can go to the second World Finals. You take your best of the 2, and that's your World Finals points or whatever. Then they take your home track, however you finish in the points there. Then they have the Super Nationals for different areas. So if you go to our one up here is the Central Super Nationals. So like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, no, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So it's basically a speed week. You race all four. Whoever has the best points will bring those into the World Finals. So you have home track, Worlds, Super Nationals, and then that's kind of how they calculate all the points for the World Championship. But apparently they're still gonna have speed weeks, but like it doesn't make sense. Like you're literally just having a speed weeks that people, that counts toward the World Championships. Like why even have a speed week?
Well, Speed Week's its own thing, and Speed Week, if I'm correct,
you don't win anything.
What do you mean?
You win hey, I won Speed Weeks. That's what you win.
You get paid and you get a trophy and everything.
No, you don't.
At the banquet. Yes, you do. I won Speed Week.
Who does that? When's the
It's Tobias.
When's the last time you won Speed Week?
I won Slingshot Speed Week in 2019.
Do they still do it?
Yeah, they still do. I don't know if they did it this year. They did
gotta
Speed
ask
Week
Bieber.
last year.
I gotta ask Bieber and Han because those are the two that won it points wise.
There's
because
Junior Speed Week.
I guess.
I
don't know.
Never was a Junior Speed Week. It was always for All Stars, but no, they recognized it as its own tour. Good Lord, I'm stuttering. And I think the winner of Speed Week is allowed to carry that into as their weekly.
He's the one that swept last year.
Yeah, no, they still pay you at the banquet and everything, and they give you a trophy because I won it in 2019 when I also won Northeast. But I carried, so I was Super National, like what they call the World Tour is what they call it now. So I could carry, I threw out my action track points and I carried either Northeast or Speed Week tour points into the championship over my home track because that was my highest finish.
I just thought it didn't, because last year there was like almost zero interest. Bieber won, he got second at Shellhammers and then won the rest of the week.
Yep.
There wasn't much interest and no one really seemed to care, or they didn't think it mattered for the Worlds or anything. So like that's why it's like, why not just take Speed Weeks out and just have the Super National Week as Speed Weeks? Because like they're saying like this, if you race all this whole week and like you're the top points, then you can carry that in the
part of Speed Week's appeal was always that it hit the 1 a year tracks. And since we've lost one of those, which is Reading Fair, which I think I have pictures racing with you, Tyler, at Reading Fair as well, now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
The West End Fair.
West End and Reading Fair.
Different one, yeah.
Sick.
I don't know if West End Fair is still going. The Reading Fair was a very similar track, a little bit faster and usually handled better, but Reading Fair was cool because like the fair was right next to you, all lit up. So I have really cool photos with like the Ferris wheel in the background and stuff.
That's cool. Yeah,
but,
either way, I want the Slingshots to be back where they were, and I'm trying to give them as much exposure as possible. Like the videos on the channel have been doing well, like 1K views per week for the Slingshots, both classes. Maybe there's some more interest in it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just sharing it a lot more, but hopefully we can keep it going. Because this weekend is coming up.
Slingshots used to be so big.
You get like 30 plus cars a week at Hamlin.
Yeah.
What happened is now is like people just focus on their home track, like their weekly track. Tobias, and honestly, like I might get some hate for this. Mike Feltenberger used to put a ton of work into the tour and designing the tour and everything like that.
He did. And
since he has left Tobias, and it's nothing, I don't think Bats works there anymore either, but Bats did a good job trying to put together the World Tour stuff. They don't have anybody that is putting in the energy in the right places to make the Slingshot Tour the way it used to be. I know that they're trying to be more inclusive, and the one thing that's different is now we do have those people from out of state travel to our region for the World Finals races to compete for the World Championship. So you get to the final weekend of the year, when it used to just be at Linda's, for example, and there's five, six Canadian drivers. There's 5, 6 New York drivers. I don't know if anybody from out west or down in like the Florida area ever came up from the Sunshine Tour to run but we would get a lot of the New York and Canadian guys that would come out, and it was fun to race with those. So it's cool to have that inclusion. But when we got away from running the 30 race MA silver or MA gold
That was
tours
a
is
lot,
where
yeah.
it
Like,
just it doesn't have the same draw. And
Mhm.
everybody, you have so many slingshots now, and they're all separated into different tracks, and everybody just does their own thing, and nobody comes together to run on the tour, and you miss out on having those 40-50 slingshot car fields.
I would love to put together like a mini like short track super series type thing, but like with the slingshots, like one race a month or something. So like a different track or something, and then like toss in like one race at like Wall or Mahoning Valley. You know what I mean? Like one pavement tossed in there, but all dirt would be super cool. Like as far as like a full like a 5-6 race tour.
Slingshots are supposed to be racing Pocono this weekend on the dirt or on the pavement.
That'd be so cool. But like
we used to have a race at Mahoning, right, Kyle?
Yeah, that I almost won the last one we had there. I don't know why we went away from there, other than the fact that,
Dude, that was
my motor
fun.
melted.
Yeah, just having a tour that has all different tracks, no repeat tracks, and then one asphalt track kind of thrown in the mix. I think that would make for like a really unique and challenging.
Shame, you used to get a lot of people who would want to switch their cars over for the pavement stuff, and that honestly just went away. The last time we had pavement races on the tour schedule was probably 2019, and we had Mahoning and Bethel. And did we have another one? I'm trying to think, because that's the year that I won the Northeast Tour, and part of it was because I was one of the few guys that did travel to all those races, and I won the Bethel race. And we were leading Mahoning when the motor grenaded. And as far as I know, that's the last time the slingshots have been to either of those tracks. They, at least on a tour, they've invited us back to Bethel a bunch of times, but I don't know about Mahoning. And I don't know that there's been a pavement slingshot race outdoor since. And Snydersville is hosting a special event this weekend for go-karts, slingshots, and TQs at Pocono, where we're racing like a 7th mile paperclip that's supposed to be kind of shaped like Borders was, just no banking.
But it's Super Nationals weekend, so most people are.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Well, I gotta.
So dumb.
I know. I've been messaging some people just to see who's gonna go. I'm thinking about making some promotional stuff just for fun during the week.
For
just
Super National?
Yeah, just to be like, hey, this person's coming to Hamlin, or this person's coming to Hamlin, or something. Because I know Faith is coming to Hamlin.
She is. Whose car is she driving?
I don't know. She didn't tell me, but I'm just gonna put
number 33. I don't even know who it
is. Who is that?
I should probably find out. I'll ask her. I'll ask her Wednesday. It's like,
but
if I was around, I would let her drive my
car.
I was gonna force her to drive my car on pavement, but I don't have time to swap that shit over.
That'd be fun. But yeah, hopefully we get a good amount of people. I know I posted something in the Tobias Facebook group, and I've gotten pretty good responses from people that don't normally come to Hamlin. So hopefully they follow through with it. I know it's a hike, but at least there'll be video footage of it. We'll do.
More of a hike than Bloomsburg is.
I know, but I just put on the post. I was like, we're gonna do some infield shots. We're gonna do interviews. We're gonna do drone stuff. Like, we'll try to make it as cool as possible for them, so they get some more exposure. And like, it's just hard because like I'm putting all this work in, and it's great, and I'm growing the channel and stuff. But like, I want more people just to come to Hamlin. Yeah. And even with all the video coverage and all the stuff that I'm able to do, even just by myself, like it's not really a draw for any drivers to come to Hamlin, which sucks. But it is what it is. I enjoy doing it, and I don't care. But please come to Hamlin. That'd be fun.
Who's running Hamlin now?
Randy
and Denise.
Is he still? He always had a good track when we were there.
He's been this year. He's I don't know what he's done differently, but that thing is smooth. He put some more clay and stuff down, but because I remember watching videos from like 2018, 2019, sometimes big monster holes would form. Like even me and Kyle were watching an old video, and it was just like, oh no, maybe it was me and James Benz watching, and it was like these massive holes entering 1 and 2. But now, like, I mean, yesterday's track was like literally as smooth as like Snydersville. It was great, super fast. He's been stepping it up a notch, but it's tough. They're getting older and stuff, and it's hard to do everything, by themselves. So we'll see how long they run this sucker. But I mean, this year's been good with car count so far. So hopefully we get a bunch more. Hopefully I can find another sponsor for the Slingshot Super National, make it a little more appealing. We never know. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. I remember back when I was like just first starting in slingshots, and the 270s were like a much bigger thing. And I remember they used to have like B and C mains there like weekly for the 270s. And then by the time I was done with my slingshot, there was like 3 of them left. Only like 3 cars showed up every week. It was just crazy.
It was
and
Ryan Smith and Glenn McCumber.
Yep.
Those are the 2 diehards, man.
And then I got out of the slingshots there, and a couple years after, me and Alex, we had a night where we both rained out, and Hamlin was still racing, and we were like, all right, let's go to Hamlin. We went to Hamlin, and it was just crazy, like the amount of open space and like how different it looked. The flag staying on the front stretch now.
Yeah.
We were so thrown off. It was just crazy though. Because I agree with Kyle. Like anytime I ever look into anything like slingshot related, no one does any traveling, and I agree with him. Like with the whole, there is no tour or anything, so it kind of doesn't make people want to travel. Like, what is the point of traveling to somewhere else, for the same pay or whatever, and it's further.
Yep, I wish I could do more as far as pay and maybe get sponsored or something. But like from my understanding, I think Hamlin's like the only one that provides regular video coverage of any kind of slingshots. I mean, the only thing you get anymore is just like cell phone videos, or heck, a lot of people don't even have streaming services set up. It's tough. It's tough, man.
I don't know if Linda's go away from streaming?
They have the cushion.
Okay, and then Action Track is now pay-per-view.
Yeah, Dirt Track Digest. Shellhammers, they were supposed to have the cushion last year, and I don't know if they ever rectified that or whatever.
Oh, what was that other dude's name that we were NRN? Whatever happened to him?
National Racing Network?
Yeah,
I don't know. And then there's another guy that does it's like Weekly Race Report or something that does PenCan. 5 Mile Point doesn't have anything. I mean, those guys really don't run slingshots all the time. I don't even know what other places actually run slingshots besides Linda's, Shellhammers, Action Track.
NRN, we ran iRacing leagues with him, and he was starting to do stuff at different tracks, and I think he did some stuff at Lanco, and then
I could stream. I mean, I can do the whole streaming thing. I'd have to connect to their network and stuff, but then I'm kind of like stuck up there,
locked into that.
Yeah, if I could like find someone that wants to stand up there the whole stinking night, fine. But I'd rather be down doing interviews or doing videos and infield shots and stuff. Some cool stuff. Again, it's just me, so it's like, how much more can I bite off? I'm trying to do too much. Like if I'm doing infield videos, I can't do drone stuff. If I'm doing drone stuff, I can't do infield videos. And then if I'm doing that, I can't do interviews. That's like, I can only stretch myself so far.
Yeah.
But all right, I think I've rambled a little bit too far. But Tyler, I really appreciate you coming on here and chatting. I know it's a bit of a late night. Got a little late start here, unfortunately, but yeah, man, I really appreciate you coming on and talking about racing. It's nice. We haven't had a guest on in a couple weeks, so this is super cool to talk about slingshots and sportsmen, and you and Kyle can reminisce on your Shellhammer days a little bit. We'd love to see you in a slingshot again, but I understand that's if you could find one, I'm sure that would be fun. But
I'll drive it. Yeah.
Oh, I know you're a driver, man. Anybody who offers you one, just hop in and go.
Yeah, I'll run it. Yeah,
absolutely. We'll have to figure out when we can come up and watch you race, or if you're ever racing on like a Friday or something at some point. But yeah, we'll have to, or if you come to indoors at the end of the year, I'm sure Kyle will be there with his cars, and I'm definitely gonna try to make it up there for indoors. I think it'll be super fun.
Yeah, I've always wanted to race indoors. I never got the chance to.
Yeah, I heard it's
It's
super
brutal.
exciting and fun, but really brutal.
Yeah, yeah,
But
absolutely.
if you want to just shout out any sponsors, anyone who helps you, any Facebook groups or anything that you got going on, floor is yours, and then we'll just outro quick and be done.
Yeah, I just want to thank I want to thank my parents. Definitely the biggest ones keeping me going racing. I want to thank Stein's Golden Retrievers. If you want a Golden Retriever, I have one personally from them, and she's phenomenal. Swift Springs, Full 8, Schneider's Auto, Edwards Logging, Bob Oliver, Competition Carburation. He does anytime we've ever had a problem or an issue with the carburetor, he gets it figured out real fast, and he's always been a big help to us. Alex, he does my shocks. He does a great job at it, and he's definitely one thing that keeps me up to par with a lot of other guys and keeps me going quick. And Amsoil, I picked up Amsoil as a sponsor at the end of the year last year, and it's been good working with them, and I'm thankful for them as well. I got to thank my girlfriend. She puts in the time with me. She's out there walking with me. If
Nice.
I'm doing tires, she's helping me. So I definitely got to thank her.
Shoo. That's awesome,
But
dude.
I appreciate you guys having me on here. It was a lot of fun. I would definitely do it again.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we'll have to connect again in the off season, see what you're doing. Maybe we'll do some iRacing, or I think the one week me and James Benz we just did reactions to like Flo's top 5 clips. The one night it was super fun. But yeah, man, appreciate you being here. Good luck on the rest of the season. Hopefully, good luck with my uncle, and get that car a win, get that program going. Really appreciate it. Everyone who's stuck around, appreciate everybody watching. Like, share, follow. We're trying to get to 1,800 followers here on the channel, so really appreciate all that. And then yeah, we'll see you next week, 8 p.m. I think we're just gonna do a non-driver one next week. Me and Kyle have been talking, so we'll try to figure out a schedule for for these shows. Maybe through an email, who knows? But